Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Franca. On the show with me today, my regulars, Sheyi Ilisomi and Jacinta Poor. It's that there's just something about you. Why you're just glowing.
It's
What's
the
up? What's
eyes.
is the eyes, right?
It's the eyes.
I'm shy.
Jess, how no?
I'm fine. I just have a bit of I have a cold, so
Pẹ̀lẹ́,
I'm
pẹ̀lẹ́.
gonna take it easy this time around.
No, you
I'm
don't just.
fine.
It's okay. Just give Sheyi. When you give Sheyi one, he can start just, let Sheyi just be fighting around the ring. That's fine.
How are you, Shay? How are you
I'm good. It's good.
doing?
It's good to see you.
Yeah, same here, dear. It's always nice to have you on here.
You guys are very good together. I paired you guys together very
My
well.
G.
Yeah.
I just need her to come so that I can start.
So you need
visiting her.
that to come. It's the food that we're going to eat at Jacinta's place that you're looking at, that you're talking about. Okay, so tonight on the show, it's a very the conversation today is going to be heated because it's around culture, how our cultural background affects our relationships. I think it's a big problem that we actually need to deal with. But before we get into the ring, Jacinta, cultural background and how it affects relationships.
Of of course, this is clear as day. Back in the days, people tend to marry one another in the same, maybe the neighboring compound or even, the same building. It was something that was just around the community. But now with social media, the internet, we now have, we can approach people, we can talk to people from different and diverse backgrounds. So you see a lot of intercultural marriages happening over time now, and people are dealing with this, differences, these distinct norms, values, even communication style, and so much more. So yes, it's evident that it is a growing number of um, multicultural relationships, and but the issue is now how is it? How are people coping with it, or how people even making it work? And yeah, so I think that's what the conversation is going to. So I would say that it's a lot. It's a lot. From the religious aspect to the political aspect, and then obviously cultural aspect. I just feel that it's a whole lot of work. Such relationships. It's a whole lot of work. Yeah.
I agree with you. Shay?
Speaking from experience, because I married exotic. I didn't marry from my tribe, so I went outside of my tribe to marry. And I can say it really, really depends on the two people involved. Um, it depends on if you are ready to put in the work, right? It definitely matters. Cultural background definitely 100% matters. But most importantly, um, it is the decision of the two people involved and the decision to work for what they want that is the most important. Um, I won't say that it was a roller coaster. It wasn't a roller coaster when I was about to get married to my wife because she's from
Delta State.
Delta and I'm a proper Yoruba boy. And, it was a bit of a ride initially. But what helped us was we knew what we wanted. And I kind of knew she was going to be my wife. And even when it came up, because my parents were like, "Are you sure? Do you know what you're going to do? Your kids are not going to speak your language because you have to speak in neutral language and all of that, and all of that." But we also had the same set of values, maybe not culturally in terms of but we had like basic values. We were extremely focused people, um, and we loved each other enough to weather the storms of whatever happens. And honestly, at the end of the day, all the things that they said was going to be a problem. Maybe you probably will not speak the same language. You eat different kind of food. At the end of the day, it didn't matter at all, because and we dated 6 years before we got married. So it was more like we had tested the waters, seeing if you could live with this person, see if you align together, and yeah, we're thriving.
So, I'm a product of cultural background and relationship. So my dad is from Abia. My mom is from Osun State.
Too extreme.
Too extreme.
As in the extreme.
And to think they got married in the 70s.
Which is even worse.
Which is even worse. I don't know how, but yes, we don't speak any language in my house. So, but when I mean we don't speak any language, I hear Igbo very well, but I don't speak it. I hear Yoruba very well, but I don't speak it. But I can write it.
You can write Yoruba?
Yes.
Really?
But guess what? Because I did Yoruba in school and I did Igbo in school. But my daughter even did Igbo in school. But guess what?
Does your daughter speak?
Nobody speaks.
Okay.
So funny enough, I just feel I don't have the accent to speak. So I feel when I say it, it sounds
It's
funny.
Weird. So you rather not
But my
just say
mom
it.
speaks Igbo fluently. Do you understand? My mom speaks Igbo fluently. And then I knew there were issues because my dad was the first and he had siblings and everybody was in the house. My mom was coming from a totally different culture. So you hear my dad, the typical Igbo man and how he speaks and everything. My mom enjoyed some bit of it, how the Igbo man would take care of his wife compared to the typical Yoruba man, and all that. But then there was a battle. So it's not just about you guys. It's about the battle, the family wala.
Yeah.
So my grandmother, my grandfather. So for some reason, she was able to, get her way into everybody. She was speaking, she used to speak Igbo. So my mom, if you see my mom, you won't think my mom is Yoruba. My mom doesn't look Yoruba at all. She speaks Igbo. She's light. She has turned into...
Could it be years of your dad depositing into her? How many kids did she have for him?
4.
Okay.
Do you understand?
That's a lot of deposits.
But guess what? Everything about me is Igbo. So, you see, my dad just did a lot. But guess what? The funny thing is, my dad and my mom, I don't know. My dad said none of us was going to marry a Yoruba man. And he was bent on it. He said none of us was going to marry
After he did it.
So I kept saying, but you are married to a Yoruba woman. He said, that's our business. So that same thing about how the Igbo man will take care of you, So even if they were married, there was this cultural thing that was in my house. I have Yoruba cousins. I have, I have like first cousins that my mom is Oshun, Ile-Ife, Ayegbaju. Typical Yoruba. My grandmom is...
From the source.
From the source, And then you see them extreme ends. But guess what? I don't know how they cohabit. My father and my mother, you can't tell my father anything about my mom. And he won't tell her. Like, but they would have those normal issues and, but guess what? I think, and over time, I started seeing people marry outside just tribes, because I think people started understanding that for some reason it's a better relationship. Like I grew up in Benin, and I knew that a lot of Benin men and women didn't want to marry
In fact,
from the same place. So you find a Benin man maybe going to marry an Asian man, things like that. So they said, I don't feel marry Benin man, because they started understanding that, there was something, you find out a Yoruba woman doesn't want to marry a Yoruba man. Or the typical Igbo man doesn't want to marry the Igbo woman. But hardly sure for the Igbos, the Igbos are Igbo. Igbos are more accommodating with themselves. But, so I'm from that place, and I tell you that if it's not managed properly, culture is a big problem.
Deal. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Like now, I lost my dad a month ago, and my mom is from a completely different culture.
Yes.
And when something happens around you and it's not you directly, you don't get to feel it. But now, My dad, in fixing the date for my dad's funeral, they say it's not her place to do that. It is the brothers who will do all that, And then they don't even say, they say it's the first son who is going to decide on so many things.
So
but in the Yoruba culture, yes. But in the Yoruba culture,
the wife has a big say.
It's my mom that would have decided on all that,
yes.
But the Igbo culture, they said no. My mom is just going to hear what her first son is saying or what the husband's siblings are saying. But it's a good thing that they have a good relationship. So we're able to, you understand, come together, agree on something. But trust me, there's a cultural, I don't want to say malfunction, but there's a big cultural problem when you're marrying interstate or from somewhere else. It's a big problem. And it affects relationship.
It does.
It does affect relationship. And I will say again, it's not even about your state of origin. I say this why. Now, I'm Igbo and I'm married to an Igbo man.
And you still have different cultures.
We have different cultures.
because
I didn't grow up in that typical Igbo culture, so I don't know. So my dad raised us with a different style. So I can actually question my dad. I can speak to my dad. I can question my dad's actions, and several other things. But guess what? Where I am married to, you don't do that. You just you kind of accept whatever it is and then maybe question it later and things like that.
But you need to understand your dad was not a typical Igbo man.
Exactly.
Because first of all, he married outside his tribe.
My father was just a radical. My father was just somebody. My dad was out of this world, my dad just wanted to enjoy life, give the best to his kids and, so he didn't want all that drama. My dad didn't care if we were speaking Igbo or not. But guess what? He had his own idea of what tradition was. He made sure we're close to all his siblings. All his siblings passed through the house. So they're like my elder brothers, So we would go to the village every Christmas to spend time. I was very close to my grandfather. I was very close to my grandmother. I'm close to my cousins. So we actually understand, we are family oriented, but then I am not the typical Igbo person where I don't have a say, where it is about the first son. No. A lot of things my dad would do, he would tell me first because I'm the first child and the first girl. It is after I say, he will now say, go and talk to your siblings. But in another Igbo house, the women are not even carried along.
I've had encounters with a lot of clients who are Igbo, from the Igbo
East
guys. And men, like high-class people in the society, right? And their wife cannot even choose the color of one chair in the house. It's crazy. The wife cannot choose, I want the color of my bed to be this. And you will see the wife on the road in Rolls Royce, shining from head to toe. But even the clothes she's wearing, she might not have a say in it.
No, but
it's crazy.
It's terrible.
It's crazy. Do you understand?
So I think for a very long time, I didn't understand it. I thought my husband was trying to impose things on me. Because I'm rebellious by nature.
Yes, you are.
So if you don't explain things to me, it will never make sense. Because that's how I'm wired.
Yeah, and that's kind of how your dad brought you up.
That's how my dad brought me up. My dad would explain things to me. So I would expect that some things my husband, but later I understood that it wasn't him. That's what he saw growing up, And then if I get upset about it, it becomes a problem. He's trying to do...
Because he too doesn't understand.
Exactly.
Why
should I... I'm trying to do something for you. But I'm like, my opinion counts. My husband will buy a car for me. He won't ask my opinion. And it's supposed to be a surprise. But guess what? I hate surprises. I don't like surprises. Don't surprise me. Ask me what I want. I want something that's functional for me. Do you understand? Even to my birthday, I will tell you, ask me what I want. You know why? So you give me something that's useful to me so that I will use it and be happy about it. I'm better that way. But if you know me very well, then you can surprise me because you give me something around what I like. You know, my husband did something one of my birthdays. I was like, this is not me. And he felt bad about it because I was like, this is not me. He brought those banana. I don't do banana.
But that's
But guess
him.
what?
He's
I'm sure he
showing love,
saw
he's
some
taking
people.
care.
But I saw he
No,
saw
but
some
guess
people.
what, Franca? Franca,
Yeah?
let me pick something from what you've been saying now, because I've picked a pattern.
Yes, Jess.
Now, yeah. So now you're Igbo and your husband is Igbo, but yet there's still differences in
Exactly. That's what we
upbringing,
said
in
initially.
wiring.
Yes.
So does that mean that it's not just about cultural differences? It's mostly how we are wired in our individual homes or how we grew up.
Okay,
Because now
so
you're Igbo and
no,
he's
but
Igbo.
no,
No,
but
no,
you
no.
see,
What
the
about
culture is not based on tribe.
no? What I mean is, what I mean is, okay, now your dad was Igbo,
Yes, you don't
maybe
understand
so.
what I'm trying to say. The culture we're speaking about now, because someone who is from Britain, you understand, it's not Igbo, it's not Yoruba, it's just from another place. So it's basically how you were raised. Like, so we have imbibed a lot of Western culture here, which is what a lot of people raise their kids with.
Yeah, but still, a lot of people are very traditional, and there's still a lot of societies that are super traditional, and some homes that are super traditional. What I'm just trying to say now is, I'm just looking at it from the point of view that even with the fact that you married an Igbo man, I'm just saying, there are still these differences, these
Oh, yes.
distinct values and norms and whatever.
Oh, yes.
So, that means we should not, that means it boils down to not just, tribe, because a lot of people will tell you, marry from your place, marry an Igbo man, marry a Yoruba woman because you're Yoruba, because of you guys to have it easier. But I'm not saying,
Yes.
I'm seeing that even in your home, where you are both from the same tribe, even if you have a bit of, but always, your dad is Igbo, so. But I'm just saying that there's still
Oh,
differences
yeah,
in
there are
how you guys
differences.
communicate.
Yes.
Because it's more about how he was raised now, not even tribe.
Okay, but you see, so the difference is not about culture now.
Yeah.
The difference now is not culture, because when it comes to culture, I would understand the Igbo culture. I know that's the thing, because that's how I was raised. Like I said now, like my dad passed, I know that this is the normal thing to do. You understand? Like when my father-in-law passed, I knew I had to play a role. That's culture. So I took it up. But because I already knew about it, because I've seen my cousins and everybody do it. So it wasn't new to me. And guess what, again, like I said, my mom is Yoruba, but she fit in so well into the Igbo culture. So basically what we're saying, there are differences, there are big issues, but it's not something that cannot be sorted out. That's what we're saying.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, and let me add this too, when you said that you think it's not something that cannot be sorted out, like what she was saying. So I really think it's about the both of you. First, knowing that this is not an easy step. Knowing that even when it comes to eating, some people they eat together, while some people they eat alone. It could even be just being selfish and then being communal, in the sense that some people, that's just how that's their life. It could be being late and being early. You see those little things that piss us off. So he's always late, and you're wondering why he's always late. But guess what? It's his culture. But she doesn't. She cannot understand it, because where she's coming from, you keep to time. So all I'm trying to say is, at some point, yeah, we shouldn't allow love and affection. The way it is. We see each other, we love each other, and then that's all we see, and then we start struggling when it comes to these diverse issues when it comes to relationships. So I'll say that this cultural. Okay, I'll say that culture to us is mostly what we consider as normal. When somebody say this is not normal, you don't behave like this, you don't do like that, I think it stems from culture. Because I think that's our foundation, that's our background. And most of our life is surrounded by those things that, we were taught or we've seen while we're growing up. I don't know if you agree with me.
Oh, yes. So I agree with you, Jess. And it's not even it's no longer a tribal thing, because, for example, it goes again back to men cheating. And then when you go to someone who is not even from who is not even, for example, maybe you're from a particular tribe, and the person you're speaking to is from somewhere else, is from another state or something, because the person is African, the person is asking you, does he pay school fees? Does he pay rent?
Move on.
Does he bring feeding money? He has a house? And why are you complaining?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yes. So you hear somebody saying that to you, he's not, just do your thing. You don't even have to bother. You know? Like I saw something on social media, this Dollar Guy and Ife, their issue. The mother came out and said that she has not seen anything. That there was an incident of where a woman walked into her husband, smashing a lady, and they drove the lady away, and the woman took the bedsheet and went to wash it. And they settled everything among themselves.
The wife actually came out to say that.
The mom came out to say it. And she said they sorted things among themselves that they have not seen anything. She said it. And one more day. Ni suru ni. You don't have patience. I was like, God.
So you see, this transcends beyond cultural tribe.
Exactly.
It transcends way beyond, he's Igbo, you're Igbo.
Exactly.
He's Yoruba, you're Yoruba. No.
Exactly.
It's about the way of life, how the person was brought up,
yes.
and so much so. Yeah, and I would like the fact that we're actually trying to differentiate this so people can understand that it's not just about because the person is from the same place as you are, so your marriage is going to be rosy. No, there are many other things, that are going to be different from how you see life.
I totally agree.
I think ultimately, right, what we need to really know is the fact that what trumps it all is how both of you, the values both of you have, how you both of you were individually brought up. It's even more because you will see somebody who is Nigerian, who's Yoruba, that was brought up almost similar to the way an Igbo person was brought up.
True.
Do you understand? Mm-hmm. And that person, if you take them into another Yoruba house where
they're not able to cope.
They are not able to cope because they don't understand what is going on here. Mm-hmm. And usually why they say marry from the same culture is because even though your individual differences might be, two different things, but at the same time, the common one, the one that is obvious, the respect, the values in a way that everybody so-called we should have as maybe Nigerians can still relate. Like, for example, you didn't grow up in the East, but you have an idea. Your mom, even though she didn't grow up even though she's Yoruba, right, she knew that when it comes to certain things, the Igbo culture, from what she's heard,
I'm totally different from my cousins. So because of my mom, the Yorubas, they know how to do egmo, aburo, uncle, auntie, sister me. So I grew up with that. But my other cousins call you by your name.
Yeah.
They don't do all those, you understand?
All those respect.
Those respect. So you find out that my cousins would say my other cousins are disrespectful. Because those ones don't dobale.
And they don't call, and they call somebody.
They call you. And guess what? They call, so, you know how in the Yoruba tradition, if you're married to somebody, your in-law
is daddy,
is your
brother.
Okomi, or things like that.
Baba B.
My papa slap. You understand? So those kind of things. My papa go say, "Are you crazy?"
So which goes back to individual values, right? For example, me too, right? I grew up in a proper Yoruba house, and growing up, people around us, everybody older than you is brother something, brother something, brother something, and in my house, right? And my siblings at some point, because everybody was calling each other brother, and my mom was like, "Are you sure you will not start calling your?" It wasn't a force. You have to call your brother this. Are you sure you will not start calling your brother? And I was like, no, I don't want brother. As young as I was back then, I was like, no, I don't want any brother. They should call me Sheyi. And now, if take that, my cousins, right? My younger cousins, they call me Sheyi. And in the same family, they dare not call another of my cousins, who is my age mate, with that same name. In the same family, brought up same way. Do you understand? And they dare not call another person. You want to enter your grave that day. Do you get? So, I mean, and at the end of the day, I married into a family where that was the norm. Like, there's no brother. Like, my wife has an elder brother who is a grandfather, who has children. Brother who has children that are older than her. Right? The highest she will call
Papa, so.
Brother Ray, a 70-year-old man or 60-year-old. You know, he calls her Brother Ray. And sometimes when they are talking, they say Ray, you know, and
it's shocking for you.
No, it's not shocking for me because
but
personally,
the gap is because your own siblings, the gap is not as much.
It's not as much, but you know, and everybody's cool with it. Everybody, have fun now. How you doing now?
So
and
I grew up with it. We grew up with it. So I personally, we all grew up with this. There was this tag on us, and one more Igbo, one need respect, you know. So we were the ones that didn't have respect because even with the so brother and auntie with the call, we still did not have the kind of respect that the typical Yoruba person would have. Yes. Okay, so but let's quickly go on a break. There's a video. Jacinta, you wanted to say something?
No, but yes, but we can go on a break.
Okay, so let's quickly go on a break. There's a video we want to share. When we come back from the break, we'll share that video.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Veda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so please note that you can share your story with us via our WhatsApp number 081 90384663, or you can call in to join the conversations on 0702500 7749 or 07014242420. And please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Okay, so Jess, before we went on the break, you were about to say something.
Oh yes. I wanted to put myself in the situation. I want
Okay.
to. Shay was talking about yes, the Yoruba tradition and the whole brother and all the respect going on. For me, I will struggle in such a what's it called, in such culture. I will struggle in it because I don't know how to do all of those things. I've never done it. I struggle with it when I try to, So I can't be dobaling and I can be, that alone is just too much for me. And then if I want to, okay, let me give you an example. So I had this friend who went on a date and the guy had opened the door for her and she got angry. She was upset that he had opened the door for her. What we in this part of the country love and want. We see that as a sign of, okay, oh, he's a man. He's well put together. But then later, when I asked her why, she told me that she was more from like an egalitarian system where it was more like where it was more equal. So, the men and the women did as much, and no one. So he was showing his masculinity too much, and she didn't like it. And I was in total shock. I couldn't believe it. But imagine where she was and where I was, and I just couldn't understand it. So yes, something like that, I would frown at it if he doesn't open the door for me. But look at someone who a man had opened the door for her and she was upset about it. So these are just the little things, that I just consider that dating someone, all of these things, I have to just tick them out, irrespective of, how I care or how much the person person means to me. But these things matter. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Okay, so, but seriously, in certain relationship is a big problem. In marriages, it leads to divorce sometimes.
Oh, yes. That's what I wanted to say, that sometimes, right, we are blinded by, I'm in love with this guy, or this babe, fine girl, speaks well, carry herself, yellow papa. But the truth is, at the end of the day, when the rubber hits the road, right, little things that you didn't pay attention to can become such a big deal. You know, very little things that initially, you think is nothing because you're in love. Over time, you begin to see that you're actually a cultural man. Do you get what I'm saying? Like when you are young, you probably think, okay, it's not that much of a big deal. Then over time, you begin to consider your choices and you begin to think, Omo, I'll be Yoruba boy. Do you understand? When you were dating, when you were in love, when you guys were, you didn't remember that you were a Yoruba boy. But now, all of a sudden, you realize that I'm a Yoruba boy. No, so that they do, I'm a Igbo boy. No, so. And I'll give you an example. I have, I have somebody I know, who very early in life, right, got married to a white woman. Right? Back then, got married to a white woman, everything is good, married to a white man, gave birth, moved abroad. They were in America, or they are in America, doing well, two kids. Then all of a sudden, down the line, almost 15, 20 years down the line, you now realize that I've lost my identity. True freaking story. I need to marry a Nigerian. No jokes. These are like true story. I need to marry a Nigerian. My kids, they don't have any culture. My wife, I'm going into old age. Right? You realize I'm going into old age. And that thing I tag as my culture, my belief system, I realize that now that I've married, it is not there. Now I want to. I'm saying little things that you.
Shay, in all honesty, I just feel that guy is just making excuses because I say this because I also know people who are married to white women.
Oh, yes.
And their culture. I have a friend who is married to a German woman. he's never been married before. He only has that German woman as his wife. They have 2 girls. The guy is Benin. The father is his father was one of the Oba chiefs and all that, so they're very traditional. He comes, brings the kids home. They will wear the whole Benin attire and everything. They know where they are from. They know their culture. You understand? So I honestly think, even I have cousins in the UK that when they see you, they don't prostrate.
Oh, I have cousins or I have families in the UK that their Yoruba, their Yoruba is deeper than mine.
Okay.
They will call cop. Do you know cop in Yoruba? Ife. They call cop like the Yoruba name of cop.
Okay.
It was from them I knew that you call cop.
So I feel that one, a lot of people just use it as an excuse to you understand?
No,
yes.
No, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, personally, what I think is not culture. It is personal values. Do you understand? The most important thing
It's how you train your child, really.
is the personal values. The 2 of them never had shared personal values, which is easy when you are young. Nobody cares. Nobody. You didn't realize that you like them to cook for you. You know,
and it's very common with men.
That's what I'm saying. Little things that you growing up, like you didn't think was going to be when you guys were young, you didn't think it was going to be a big deal.
They didn't think, it's not like they didn't think it was going to be a big deal. They were carried away with stupid things and failed to take care of their home.
I think the thing is, we're ever evolving as human beings. And so what mattered then, obviously, now matters now. So, then, because we're ever evolving and we're finding who we are as we grow. Because you think you know yourself now, wait till the next 10 years again and you see you're in a different phase of your life. So what I think is, at that point in time, he couldn't be bothered. And over time, now he lacked it and now he wants it. And that's the thing about life.
Yeah,
you lack something, you want it.
But Jess, where did that thing come from? That thing didn't just fall on him. Do you get what I'm saying? It was something that's been in his subconscious, his bias, cultural, that thing has been there. Like, I'm Mr. Yoruba.
To him at that time, he didn't think it was something that he would cherish. Now he lacks it. The thing about lack is when you lack something, it becomes very important to you.
No, but something as you grow older, you become emotional. As you grow older, you get emotional. You now want to begin to tend towards, you understand, back home. You're saying, you now start to think differently. That happens
because
as well.
You know why? He didn't think about it then. Why some people, when they were getting married, they made sure that was in the center of their marriage.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say now. Maybe at the time he didn't discover it, or it could also be that he's using it as a camouflage to go and cheat or find another woman. Because the thing about our brain is we give ourselves excuses for our actions.
So
we just give ourselves some sort of, great excuse on why we are behaving a certain way. It might not even be so. It still boils down to how the mind is, how it's working over time at that particular time. So what I'll just say is we are growing human beings, and over time, the choices we've made in the past can come and haunt us in the future in different ways. It could be, with our spouses. It could be, whatever decision we have made at that point in time. But what I would say is anyone who's getting into such marriages or such entanglements, whatever it is, and you have differences in your culture, obviously, which they relate to your individual values and norms, you have to consider yourself first. You might seem selfish at first. You might seem or sensitive. It might seem as though you're too maybe rigid in your ways. But I just think you should really consider it, because it's not for the faint-hearted. Don't lie to yourself, to be honest. It is something that at some point, like Franca had said, it leads to divorce. It leads to divorce. It might terminate the marriage because it's just for something very, very simple. So when you're marrying a white woman, marrying someone from Amsterdam, Netherlands, same place, anywhere in the world, just make sure that be true to yourself and say to yourself, in the long run, will I be able to cope? If I find out that these cultures, because you're going to sacrifice some of these cultures. Oh, yeah. You will sacrifice them. You must sacrifice some of them. And you must take in the other person's own, no matter how little or how large.
Okay. Okay, so there's a story I want to share. I don't know if they found the video, and it's everywhere on social media, where a young Yoruba guy, the mom, if they were all at home, and the mom, his fiance, no, they're not even married yet, so he wants to marry the girl. And I think the girl had gone around, made food and everything, and the mom finished eating and wanted the girl to take her plates. And the girl was like, I have done everything for you.
I'll give you food, man.
Why do I need to take your plates? And the woman started screaming, it's my culture. You need to take my plate, it's my culture. The son was trying to calm her down to say, Mom, calm down. The lady was just, shocked. It's like, what's going on here? Like, I've done everything for you. All you need to do is take your plates into the kitchen. But you are sitting down there and saying that I need to take it, and you were screaming that she's disrespectful, that people should shut up. It was a scene.
After I served you food.
After I served you food. Jess, please, would you advise them to get married?
First of all, I would say that parents have to be very careful in how they relate to matters that concern their children. I don't know why in this part of Africa, or I don't know, Nigeria as a country, I'm sorry, to generalize, but I don't know what it is with parents and their children and trying to impose themselves in unions. I don't know why they tend to do this.
Because that's
in
how
an
they were
unhealthy
brought
way.
up too.
But this was in the UK, though.
That still doesn't change.
It doesn't matter where you are, Franca. You've already been programmed in a way.
Yes.
The animal, they take you to, even to some fancy place, you're going to be an animal.
Yes.
Forget it. You can take the horse to the river. You cannot force the horse to drink the water. What I'll say is, Franca, it's a very dicey question, to be honest, to say, will you continue with the marriage? I'll be afraid. I will be scared.
She was screaming.
Because
they were trying to calm her down.
Because
she was screaming.
I would think she's a lunatic, first of all. I think I cannot have a conversation we had. To be honest, I think that, okay, this woman and I cannot have a conversation. And I know that where there's already conflict, there's conflict already. And I can imagine days, subsequent days after that day. And I might just be an overthinker, and I might just think about it in ways that can even send me into an emotional turmoil. So I don't know, what I would do, because I'm not in that situation. But I dread such a situation for anybody, not even for my enemy. I won't wish it upon anybody. This is emotions here. This is love, between two people. But I always would say that parents should stay away. Come on, she's cooked, she's served. Take the plate away. But anyway, I don't blame her too. She comes from a background. Maybe she too, that was done to her. But even if you don't need to do the same to someone else because it was done to you, you can always change the approach. I don't want to be sensitive, Frank. And this kind of topics get me a bit sensitive.
You're already sensitive.
You're already sensitive. I was even going to bring up. I was going to bring up. In fact, I'm going to bring up. Something we had discussed on the show before. So there was a day we were having a conversation. It was just I and Michelle. And we're talking about if you were dating somebody and your boyfriend wants you to cook, your boyfriend wants you to, he was having a party.
Just to keep personal.
Jeff said, does he not have a PA? That's also culture. Just that culture?
Just is semi-white.
Yes.
Semi-white.
See, I believe that listen, look at my belief in life, and I strongly hold on to it. We as human beings, we have a choice. A decision, because for everything that you're doing in life, you should be able to have the power to choose. Now, if someone is making your life difficult because you have just chosen them, then to me, it's like, why? This person has chosen to be here, no matter what it is. Might not even be gaining anything from the situation, but there's a choice that has been made. You should respect it. Okay. In such situation, the mother should respect that the girl has chosen her son. And that is a power that she holds. And she can walk away the next minute, and that relationship is done.
Yeah.
So respect people's choice, and don't, because of they have chosen to be where be with you. You don't think that they become your house help. Even she cooking and serving. That's a whole lot. That's a lot. And she still wants the plate to be taken away from the table. Such demands. Come on. Come on.
Just take it easy. Oh my God, Jess will not kill us. Okay, so but there's also this religious culture or differences that could also cause problems.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh
so
my God.
What?
Let me say
Honestly,
something.
right?
Please.
This,
Let me say something, Shay. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never used to believe that religion was a problem in relationships. No joke. I remember I was in some bubble. I was just maybe deceiving myself. I don't know what it is. But I just never thought, like, not Muslim, Christian, nothing, you know? Until I found
Until
myself in a situation. My goodness. You know, and the thing is, when they want to, and listen, any man that doesn't want to be with you use religion as an excuse. Let me tell you, women, are you there? Any man who doesn't want to be with you use religion as an excuse. And again, it's obviously very difficult because especially when you start having kids, where are they going to tilt to? I think that is even, I don't use the word worse off, but there's a whole lot more to even take
that's why I say
when it comes to religion.
wait, so Jacinta,
You know,
what
I mean,
happened?
culture.
Why did you run?
they put.
Frank, I didn't want to deceive myself, man.
Did they
No
cover you up?
joke.
Jacinta, initially, Jacinta was telling me, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Oh, no, I can
Yeah.
deal with this. I can deal with it. Not a big deal. Maybe the day when they reach to
And
go
that's the
mosque, you
thing.
know, Sabi read Quran. She called me in there.
Oh my goodness. Dude, I swear to you, dude, that's even political differences. Okay, no problem. You love Trump, I love Hillary, no big deal. You know, the fight quarrel heated up. Oh, cultural, that's fine. But you see, religious, my darling. The people that do it, I give them some very, I give them some medal. Well done. Well done. You guys, well done.
I
What?
mean,
No way.
it still goes back to what Jess was saying. Like, at some point, you don't even know who you are. And you make decisions. Like, the truth is, no matter how much they tell you, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Sometimes you don't even know. I know a couple, right? When they were getting married, she's a Christian, he's a Muslim. She changed religion, to be a Muslim. Some years down the line now, she has changed back. Because she's like, oh, more, I like my Christianity. After years, and down the line.
So I think it still goes back to,
So that at that point they had same value system, same, they aligned like, okay, we change the kids, we do this, the kids we do that, we do,
So no, let's
it's
be
okay.
honest, let's say something. Sometimes she could have been desperate. Forget about same values. So there could have been desperation that made her to marry the man from a different religion. What do you mean by values? Stop it. Desperation. Could have been manipulation. Could have been all sorts. I've managed. Let me just get
from
married.
experience. What do you make
What do you
Jacinta
mean?
run?
Yeah. But if she got there, after she already planned maybe 5 years, I've had my kids, then I'll change back to my. Don't you know people plan?
No, but seriously,
Huh.
I know a couple that the guy is as in very strong Muslim, and the wife is a Christian. She goes to church. When they are fasting, she would do her husband would do the fasting and everything. But I think it's now the kids that
It's a problem.
is a problem because the kids go to church and go to mosque.
Yes.
So at that point, you're asking yourself.
What
So
are
the
we
confusion
doing?
is with the kids because the wife is already, she knows what she wants, so she's a Christian. Now, the kids will follow mommy to church, and then on Fridays, they'll follow daddy to mosque. So maybe when they get of age, they will not decide on, okay, so maybe I prefer being a Muslim or I prefer being a
and choose
Christian.
one.
So that's the confusion you now leave your kids to.
But that's an example of very liberal people together. Because, at the
maybe
end
they
of
wanna
the
be together.
at the end of the day, for them to make those decisions, they are actually very chilled liberal
Very.
people. Right? Yeah, they are. I mean, for me too, I think me and my wife are kind of, chilled to a certain extent because even though she's from Delta and I'm a Yoruba guy, and even though she doesn't speak my language, she takes it more upon herself to make sure that the kids are trying to learn it, learn their father's language. I would never pressure anybody to, we must learn, we must do this way. And at the end of the day, it just shows how willing or how committed both of you are and how flexible you can be in terms of, or how much you want your marriage to work. Do you understand? There are some things that you feel like are deal breakers, how much effort, how much work are you willing to put into this thing to make it work? Are you willing to say, even if whatever religion will not come in between us, you know, our marriage is more important than any other thing, you know. So at the end of the day, culture or no culture, religion or no religion, you are from Japan, I'm from. By the way, I see one girl for Instagram or more
I'm a book.
Japanese Igbo. I lie. I'm not joking. Oh, Japanese Igbo.
Really?
Yes, she speaks Igbo fluently. She
Fluently.
speaks Japanese
No, but it
fluently.
happens. All those
It
Igbo
is
brothers that have gone to
crazy.
Japan, or
Chinese. I think
even
I've seen her. I
in
think it's
Vietnam,
Chinese
in different
and
countries,
Igbo.
even India.
Oh boy, she comes to Nigeria, say nah man, me I know with kinko eyes. Sorry.
No, but seriously, it happens
Yeah,
because you find out that back then when
and-
those Igbo brothers used to travel, they married there to get papers and those kind of
and
things.
I think it's fantastic. Like I so
There are
love it.
plenty.
I love
Philippines, Vietnam, Indians. They are all over. Chinese.
I love
Yeah.
the
The
most
world
beautiful
is-
thing I think you can have is when you have two cultures come together and the children are able to take both cultures equally. I think it's a
What are you talking
beautiful
about,
thing.
Shay? Your wife is from Delta State, Shekiri. The Shekiris, go there, you see them, they're all like half caste. Back then, all those white people, the colonial people, the colonial masters and all that, they were white. They were getting married to those Shekiri
Oh,
women.
that's true. I'm one of you people, you know. Not
Yeah.
obviously. I'm Ishan. My mom is Ishan, and that was
Exactly.
Filipinos.
You understand? Her
Yeah.
mom is
My
Ishan
dad is
and her dad
Igbo.
is Filipino. That's why, do you understand?
Oh,
No,
okay.
my dad is Igbo.
Yeah, but your mom's dad.
my mom's heritage is from the Philippines.
No
Like her
wonder the
origin.
eyes. Nice eyes, Jess.
Thank you.
You understand? So if you go to Shekiri, you see them as in they're all like half caste. They are white. All them are they're Shekiris. When you go there, you see them.
Doing Clark and things.
All those Clark and the rest of them. Yes, now white people, you understand? A lot of them, they're plenty, the Shekiris. So it's the same thing. And then you have a lot of Nigerians who have gone to Britain and they've married white women and they even came here.
Yeah, and their kids are
Tyso Larry, Larin's wife. There are a lot of them.
I think it's wonderful if you guys can make it work. But I think it's also very disastrous if you guys cannot agree, because it just brings up too many things. You did this, you did that.
No, but if you ask my opinion, I feel that most times, even when they are willing to make it work, external forces.
Yes.
That's if you're not
Yeah.
strong enough to
Sheyi,
shut down.
No matter how strong, you know those external mother-in-law, this one, that one. Sometimes it is a lot.
It can be a lot.
Sometimes it's a lot.
It can be a
no
lot.
matter how you, and then after a while you just get emotional. Then your wife reacts to it. When your wife reacts, you now react. You're like, why you reacting? Didn't you know this? It just gets too much. It can be a lot, honestly. Okay, so we have just 2 minutes. Jess, you want to say something before we go?
Yes, before I finish up, I'm going to say, even when it comes to food as well, you know, the kind of food he might like.
Oh, yes.
Like could also be our, our problems as well.
A big
Like
issue.
that oil, I want vegetable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'll just say to the viewers watching is, take your time and make the decision that is best for you. Such decision already is a difficult one. And you want to always see, life is already stressful already. Come on. You don't want to add more stress to yourself, to be honest. That's what I see. So just try to see. I'm not saying you shouldn't. It's a great idea, amazing, lovely, but can you withstand it? Do you have the strength, or do you have the capacity, mental capacity to be in such relationship? So think about it before you make such steps.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sheyi, last thoughts?
Ultimately, it's up to the two of you involved in it. Can you withstand external pressure? Can you be flexible enough to understand where the other party is coming from? Can you make adjustments? Even later in life, when you discover another side of you, are you still willing to put in the work to what is most important to you? Is it how you feel, or your marriage? Or, how do you guys work out issues and how you intend to go forward, you know. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I personally would say it's a good thing. You see the intertribal relationship. I'm a product of that, and I'm happy. You understand? I have a mix of. I have vast knowledge on being an Igbo girl. I call myself the Igbo Yoruba girl, you know. And it's interesting. It's exciting if people are able to, deal with it and all that. It exposes you to a lot. It's knowledgeable, you acquire knowledge, and then you get to learn a lot. So it's just about people cohabiting and understanding how to work together. People can just, you understand, cohabit. Because it's just like you go to school, it's just like going to school somewhere else, another state, another country, and then you make friends. So I don't understand this whole cultural thing, but I think it's something that is actually affecting, in one way or the other, growth. That's how I say it. So, in all honesty, I think it's a good thing if people are able to, and they actually produce very wonderful children, happy homes.
I shocked today where I learned say you be Titi, by the way.
Oh, my name is Titi Layo. Okay, so Jacinta is laughing. So also know that you can send us emails at counsel@verda.consult. And again, we have wonderful people. She, Jacinta, Sajo, plenty of us, my humble self, to attend to your emails. So please send your emails to us. See you tomorrow.